Sorry.
Okay. Praise awaits you, our God in Zion. To you, our vows will be fulfilled. You who answer prayers. To you, all people will come. When we are overwhelmed by sins, you forgave our transgressions. Blessed are those you choose and bring near to live in your courts. We are filled with good things of your house, of your holy temple.
This Psalms is written by David, where it's a psalm of thanksgiving, and it talks about how God forgives us.
Mhm.
What makes God's forgiveness such a valuable gift?
You said what makes
God's forgiveness such a valuable gift?
I would say the fact that he forgives everyone.
Sure.
Or not even everyone, but everyone who okay, how am I trying to say this? Everyone who means it.
Well, everyone needs forgiveness.
Yeah.
Well, means what they're saying. It's
Okay.
not like just saying it
Right.
because, but actually means it. And I think that it's hard to say this, but I think that at least from a human, regular, whatever standpoint, everyone deserves forgiveness.
Right.
Or everyone deserves forgiveness. Even no matter what they did, as long as they actually mean it. To me, at least.
Yeah,
Agreed.
And he forgives the biggest things and the littlest things.
Well, here's the thing. Nothing is big or little to God.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
sin is sin.
Right.
Humans put the weight on it. We've put the weight on it.
Right.
Yeah.
You say this is worse than that, which it's not. It's all the same in God's book. It's kind of like a cake is a piece of cake. No matter if I slice it in a square or a perfect circle, it's still going to be a piece of cake.
Right.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yeah. But to answer the question, it's kind of like the reason what makes it so valuable in my eyes is because God's forgiveness gives us the opportunity to walk away from sin and to not be bound by it.
Yeah.
My thing is that you're forgiven no matter what. And I guess the thing is like, I know I don't deserve the forgiveness.
Right.
I don't deserve it, but he forgives us.
Same.
Even if we do the same thing over and over again, he forgives you. He's probably like, hey, there's about to be some consequences your way if you don't stop it. But he forgives you because of his love and his grace and his mercy in our lives. He forgives you.
Right. Next question. When have you seen someone overwhelmed by God's forgiveness?
I'm sure it's happened, but I feel like it's one of those things we didn't necessarily know what was going on, because I remember people crying at the altar when we were little, like really, really crying at the altar when we were little. And I mean, sobbing, like they were given.
I think they were saved. I think they were getting saved. They got saved that very same day.
Well, no, not that one.
I'm saying like
that might have happened a couple times, but I'm saying some of it was they've been saved and they didn't rededicate or anything. They just took their problems to the altar.
Right. And they laid at the feet of God, and God just kind of dealt with them on it.
Yeah. And then they were just crying about it. And but nothing was shared, which nothing has to be shared. You know, you only apologize to the ones you wronged in a situation. You don't need to tell the whole world. Unless God tells you to tell the whole world.
Right.
Unless instructed.
Right.
Yeah. A time I've seen someone overwhelmed.
overwhelmed by God's forgiveness?
I'm not. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've seen it, but I think like I don't know. You can see a change.
That is
Well,
true. You do see a change in people when they're forgiven and they're
yeah,
turning from their old ways. Yes, you do see.
yeah, yeah. You can see the change, and even like for the person I'm thinking about, it's mostly through Facebook, but like you can tell the shift. And then when I was younger, like I said, I grew up in a Pentecostal church.
Yeah.
And I don't know if everything I saw was like true, but I did also see the same thing, like people crying at the altar.
So it definitely could have been true. It doesn't necessarily,
Yeah.
At the same time, you were a kid and you don't know what they were going through, and
That.
it could have just been landed at the feet. By all means, it's not for us to judge how people worship, how people.
Yeah.
That's not our place. So definitely, you might have seen the same thing, just at a different church.
Right.
Yeah. Especially, yeah, I think it was because I was a kid, so I didn't know everything.
Okay. All right. Psalm 65, 5-8. You answered us with awesome and righteous deeds, God our Savior, the hope of all, the end of the earth, and of the farthest sea. Who formed the mountains by your power, having armed yourself with strength? Who stilled the roaring of the seas, the roaring of the waves, the turmoil of the nations? The whole earth is filled with awe at your wonders. Where morning dawns, where evening fades, you call forth the song of joy. So something to think about is David is writing this, and when David's writing this, he is so thankful and grateful that God's answer to his prayers are grounded in righteousness, and God never responds wrongly. God knows the right thing to do, and he has the power to pull it off. His works are not only right, but they are all inspiring and behold. So when God moves, the whole world takes notice. And this was real evident in David's life, because you figure David went from a shepherd boy
to the king of a nation.
Well, to running from a king, hiding.
I'm saying,
but I was like going through a short synopsis of his whole story.
Oh, he went from shepherd to
running from a king, marrying a king's daughter, becoming king eventually, defeating everything, and then
he was running, like, literally, in other words, he was a king of Israel. So he went from a shepherd boy to the king of Israel. So
right.
He's seen how God can literally moving a way to makes everybody take notice of who he is and who's in charge and what's going on.
And I have a question for you. Is this after Bathsheba?
I have no idea.
Because if I'm correct, I could be wrong where we are in Psalms, but isn't this like when he's grateful and thankful for Solomon, when Solomon was born?
No idea.
Okay. I was just saying, that's all. Go ahead.
No idea. Not sure, but that's a valid question. What question I like to ask is, what has God's
greatness and power accomplished in your life?
Right.
What was the question again?
What has God's greatness and power accomplished in your life?
Oh, so
we don't have long enough to really cover that, really.
May I point out something in your life?
Like, go ahead.
You went from barely talking to people to now you're teaching in front of a class.
Yeah.
And you became the head of your math department. Right. And now you're teacher of the year.
Good Lord.
Nope,
yeah, I think
the whole entire year till they named the new teacher of the year.
I think my biggest one, like, well, the not even biggest because they're all pretty big, but the one that's most evident, I guess, is getting over my my trauma and depression. Not even getting over it, but learning how to deal with it and becoming stronger than it. Not letting it take over your life, you know? I think that was the biggest, or like I said, not biggest, but
one of them.
One of the biggest things that
awesome. Awesome,
mm-hmm. And now I'm working helping children. So yeah.
Amen. Keep on keeping on. Okay, where do you see God's greatness and power on display in our world today? I say the world is still alive because the stuff people be doing.
Yeah, but you see some God's work in mysterious ways, and how, like, the revival at that church, it was publicized.
I missed that.
Well, you don't pay attention.
I don't watch social. I look at social media just to make sure people are alive, but I really don't read social media.
I try to keep a pulse.
Yeah.
I try to keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on at least. But it was a while ago. There was this huge revival that had people from all over the United States and world trying to get there. I think it not too far away.
Well, that's good.
But I have the thing, but it's honestly displayed through. It's simply displayed through its creation.
Mm-hmm. Go hiking up a mountain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or even see how your town changes over time. For instance, I remember where the church is now, where we are currently located. It was all trees. There was no Walgreens. Popeyes was across the street. I remember going out to Hepzibah was a 2-lane, not a 4-lane. What else do I remember? I remember, so on Bobby Jones, where the overpass is like now you got a curve and you go up and it goes down. I remember when it was all just flat.
Okay. Well, okay. Where's God's greatness and power?
Where is it on display in the world today? You said it in his creations.
I know, but in terms of what you're saying.
Oh, in terms of what I'm saying,
progression,
and don't stop it, just keep going. Progression and change. Progression and change. Y'all, for some reason the lights don't like us today. No, they want to go to total darkness.
They keep timing out. I think it's just
it's never timed out that soon though. Maybe that's emotions.
All right.
So
Psalm 65, 9-13.
You care for the land and the water. You enrich it in aboundingly. The stream of God are filled with waters to provide the people with grain, for so you have ordained it. You drenched it, froths and levels its ridges. You soften it with showers and bless its crops. You crown the year with your bounty, and your carts overflow. The grassland of the wilderness overflow. The hills are clothed with gladness. The meadows are covered with flocks, and the valleys are mantled with grain. They shout for joy and sing.
In this, it kind of speaks to the fact that God he never leaves us alone. His presence is always there for us. Speak now on that. I ask, what's one thing God has provided that you sometimes take for granted?
Oof, so much.
Yeah, we take at- we take a lot of things for granted. Myself,
Yeah.
So much. So much.
um, uh, where we live, the fact that we get up and day allows us to get up and start a new day the next day,
Have a job
like his forgiveness.
and just working towards everything. Roof over the head, dishes to wash. And I don't like washing dishes.
Same. But yeah, I don't think, I know I take a lot of things for granted. I lately I've been having a lot of trouble feeling connected, just in general. So I realized I do take a lot for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing
Like,
everyone's a phone call away.
Right.
yeah.
Call your friends, call people, call me. Lord knows I'll talk. Ask Curtis.
Yeah.
I call him and he gets me off the phone. He rushes me off the phone sometimes. Granted, he is trying to write papers. Let me put that disclosure in there because
Yeah.
still,
She
like,
calls me when I'm trying to work on stuff sometimes.
so call me if you're bored. I promise you, I'll listen.
But yeah, and she'll have plenty.
Love you too, love.
Like just as much you talk, like we're polar opposites on that end.
We're not.
We're
He
not
can talk.
I can talk when I want to. When I want to.
But yeah, I think
Whatever.
But yeah, just reach out. I can say this, I was really blessed because when I would feel disconnected or lonely, I always had friends that made time to listen or to just be on the phone and we'd watch the same thing on the phone together and talk about it, you know.
yeah, I think it's just because I think it's just becoming an adult, to be honest. Every day working, doing the same thing, going home and doing the same thing. You just start to feel kind of blah.
Wait until Costco is your new mall. It will blow your mind. I get excited going to Costco. I don't want to go to the mall. I'm like, do I have to? Let's just go to one store. Let's just go to the food court. I do not want to go and walk the whole mall. And
Yeah,
back
I
in
don't.
the days, I lived in the mall. They hired me.
Yeah.
Security.
But at least you have perspective to realize that though,
Yeah.
because a lot of people go through life and don't realize that they're taking certain things for granted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get back into trying. Slowly, like through Sunday school, trying to feel more connected.
Oh yeah.
So
And friends. Like it's great to have friends who have things in common with you. It gives you more to talk about.
yeah.
Um, like I'll say this, my friends, we never went to the same church, but we always had the same values. And it brought up for interesting and awesome conversations, even in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm not gonna lie, we did talk about boys.
Yeah.
It's high
Yeah.
school.
We talked about boys. We talked about who said what we saw. We talked about the fight in the hallway, but we never talked about it in school. Like we were there to get our education. We talked about it when we got home on the phone, like, girl, did you see that?
Mm.
Or girl. Or if we saw each other in the hallway, it was just girl. The other one knew exactly what the other one was saying, and we just stopped there. It's a special kind of friendship.
But okay, moving on to the next question. What causes you to give thanks when you look around your group, church, and the community?
So I'm thankful when we have people with us either online or in Sunday school class.
Mhm.
I'm thankful that we are growing. I believe people are watching the videos, even though they don't make it to Sunday school. But I'm thankful they're watching them because
Mhm.
we've been there, we've done that. We know
Yeah.
what it's like being college and careers and working and everything. And we got 10 more minutes.
Totally.
All right. What are some ways you've benefited from God's provisions? I'm still alive. It's just point blank. I'm still alive.
We're still breathing. We still have a week.
Uh,
God always provides when God's timing is perfect. He always provides for his kids.
All
yeah.
right. So, did you want to add something?
No, I agree.
So, personal reflections. This is the live it out section, okay? So, personal reflection. Take some time, get specific about why you should be grateful. Evaluate your blessings you might often take for granted and thank God for them one by one. Intentional encouragement. Some of the greatest gifts in our lives are the people with whom God has surrounded us. Prayerfully consider someone who could use encouragement. Go out of your way and tell the individual why you're thankful God has placed them in your life. Family discussions. Aim all the holiday busyness.
Amid all the holiday busyness.
Carve out some time to list why your family should be thankful. Use this time as a family. Relatives or friends have gatherings to discuss reasons we have to thank God. Use the discussion to combat any endaggering consumerism and tempt us during.
And use the discussion to combat any endangering
consumerism
that tempts us during the holiday season.
Yes.
Together we got one good brand.
So true. Add our dog and we're a genius.
Together one good brand.
Add the dog and we're a genius.
It's all right.
All right. So the point, we have so much to thank God for. So just remember over the holiday season, be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for your family, your friends. Reach out and talk to them during the holidays. A lot of people feel lonely during the holidays because
they don't have one to talk to, be around.
You know, people have, unfortunately, we've lost a lot of people over time. So just, reach out. Even if you're the one feeling lonely, you may be reaching out to someone who feels just as lonely as you do.
Yeah. You never know.
You never know. All right.
All right, y'all.
Have a great and wonderful
week.
You too.
Bye.
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 Love y'all.